Hi, I'm Garvin. I'm here to tell you about Mozilla Location Service. This is an open service for network geolocation, and it's open in the sense that it's open source. The cellular data is free to download. It's free to use. The Wi-Fi data, unfortunately, is not due to privacy reasons, and I'll talk about that a bit more at the end. And a network location service is where a device scans the Wi-Fi and cell networks around itself, bundles those up, sends them to a web service, and the web service sends back a location. It's like a thumbprint that somebody's been there before and they saw these radio signals around them. Let me explain the difference between network and GPS geolocation. GPS is slow, it's very accurate, and requires a lot of power on the device. Network geolocation, on the other hand, is all the opposite features. It's fast, it's low power, it's more approximate, but it requires an internet connection. So why is Mozilla interested in geolocation? Well, geolocation is an HTML5 standard. So all web browsers, any web page can ask for a location, and a web browser is expected to respond. And if you want people to use your web browser, you'd better respond to that. Also, Mozilla has a mobile operating system called Firefox OS. And as part of a good experience on a mobile device, for a good geolocation experience, you would want to have both GPS and network geolocation for those fast, low-power lookups. For example, for single-shot lookups, you're often getting a network location. And then if you're doing a navigation app, you're probably getting, almost certainly you're getting your GPS. Some of the devices actually that the Firefox OS devices have gone out have no GPS on them, and they completely use network geolocation. So to do this, we were using commercial providers, and due to restrictions, various reasons, it hasn't really worked out very well. So the idea was we would try to go on our own. We would try to collect all the world's cell tower and Wi-Fi networks and create our own service. Easy peasy. And we would do this with very little staff and rely on the kindness of others to collect the data for us and crowdsource it. Well, I'll skip ahead. It's actually worked out. So we've been collecting data mainly through two means. We have Mozilla Stumbler for Android, which is a standalone, aggressive data collection, Wi-Fi and cell networks. And when you install Firefox for Android, you get a pop-up that asks, would you like to contribute your location to our service? And a lot of people do. Check it off. Goodness, thank you to them. And that's very, very low power, sparse contribution. We also work with OpenCell ID and a few other open data platforms. So how are we doing? Well, here's our, kind of shows up. There's our coverage map. We have a good chunk of the world covered. If we zoom in on New York, we'll get an idea of what a fully covered, maybe you won't, because you can't see blue on black, but what we have there is the blue fuzz is all the areas of contribution that we would have for this area, and anywhere within there you would expect to get very good geolocation from our service. I'm not a cartographer. I would have done a better job. In terms of numbers, it's probably aren't hugely meaningful, but this is what we have currently. We estimate if we have about 2 or 3 times this amount, we are comparable to commercial services. And if our curve keeps going up, we should get there. So one of the reasons I'm talking is not just tell you what we're doing, but we really want to encourage contribution and to get some more interest in the service. We want to encourage people to use the service for your own projects, for products even. We are interested in how our data could be used for mapping purposes. We're mainly focused on geolocation within the team, but we have huge streams of data coming into the service. We have large volumes of data, our cell database, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody here has some ideas about how that could be used for mapping purposes. And there are some other projects that are using our data. The other thing is how we can expose our Wi-Fi data. So currently, that's the only closed part of the system is the Wi-Fi data due to privacy reasons. We believe there is a way, we don't know how, to expose this data for geolocation and for mapping purposes. One of the things you could do, if you could get the Wi-Fi data out of our system and put it on a device, is you could have fully offline geolocation. So if anyone has ideas about how to do that, please talk to us. We're desperate. So that's it. That's our contact information. I'm Garvin Keeley. I'm here with Victor Ng. Here's links to the service. And there you find links to the GitHub code and everything else. If this interests you, please let us know and talk to us further. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks for keeping it 5 minutes. We can continue conversation afterwards, and next we'll have the next session. Thanks. And apparently I'm making an announcement.